Hi, I thought I would do this conversation video about chocolate. I've had a very frustrating weekend and I thought, oh, this would be a perfect to kind of be a positive, something that was fun. So anyway, so chocolate, as I told you, the sign that like this is the sign for church, but for chocolate you go around just like a vanilla would go around. So chocolate. So many people, most people love, remember kiss fist, not love, but love, because this is an inanimate object that you kiss. The like a ring, you kiss that it's called kiss fist, but everyone knows that. Yeah, I just love chocolate, and who doesn't? Anyway, but I thought I would have this conversation about the history of chocolate. History. Remember we did history, we could do history, but I do this for run or hurry. But I do see this for history. I do this. This is how I learned it, or some people do this. But actually, if you see that and they're not talking about hurry, you know that they're talking about a history of something, like a patient history. Patient. But I always do history. History. I don't do this because it's a little bit harder, so I do the history. Um, so those are the several different ways you can do history. So the history about chocolate is from way back. I mean, this is a long time ago, and because it was such a long time ago, I can do it with this and with a flare, do this a long time ago. I can do it with both hands just a long time ago. But anyway, whenever the European countries, the people that were arriving in South, remember we did this North America and this is South America. When they arrived, they found this bean, or it looked like an almond shape. So they weren't sure what that was, but they found out it was chocolate. And way long time ago, the chocolate was reserved or saved. Remember, we did that for like savings account, or I'm going to save that. Well, it was reserved, which means saved for like kings and people in his little group, because they said it was sacred, or just because it was something that was rare or it was hard to really convert, but it was really reserved for the hires up and the kings, queens, people in his court. And so sometimes they would drink it in different ways. So they would drink it hot or just room temperature, and sometimes they called it like hot, like hot water chocolate or whatever those words mean, that they're from Aztecs. But sometimes it was drank for like, for different reasons, like it was supposed to be special. So before anything happened, or a war, or just some special reason, they would have chocolate. And sometimes they would even, can't even spell it, ferment, and it would become like an alcoholic chocolate. So sometimes they would do that with the chocolate. But chocolate is so diverse that you can do many things with it. But it was first used as a drink, and it was for special reasons. And it was a bitter drink because they probably didn't add as much sugar, adding that sugar cane or honey or whatever that they used for the sweetener, which most of the time it would be honey. I'm not sure on the sugar cane when they started using that. Anyway, but it was also considered bitter. But why they drink it so much? Because I like it sweet. Anyway, I like that milk chocolate. So anyway, I thought I would kind of tell you. So they said that they had. So they were just kind of discussing the word and where it was from and why they call it chocolate and the different spellings. But it was always cacao. So, and also they would use a word that meant like hot, because they would use it like a hot drink. and ferment, more of an alcoholic chocolate. But it was a drink and not necessarily eating, the same as we do now. So then um, they they said that they foamed it as well, but I was getting to when the Europeans arrived, they noticed that these kings and these rich people were drinking this chocolate, and they were offered it and they tried it, and but at first they thought it was an almond, but you have to open it up and then it's white, and then you process it, and you dry it and you beat it and you grind it, and it becomes this powder. And then you can either cook it in some way, or you add water or alcohol or whatever, and then you mix it up, and then you can drink it. The same as we do today. But it was just really so far spread in that area, and they said they found it in Ecuador. And the Olmecs used it, and they just had huge vessels of it. The Mayans used it, and the Aztecs used it. They said that it was an important gift. They used it, as currency. Money. You could say money or trade. So it was something that was very wanted. And then when the Europeans arrived, they were taking it, right? And they would take it back to their own country, and then they would use it. So in different ways. So I'm getting to the point of Europe, and so Belgium chocolate is now considered chocolate. So here's our conversation. Not just necessarily the history. You could discuss the history with your friends and family, but how we use it today, you can see it, But I think it's a fun part to realize that they used it, like salt was used as currency, and chocolate was used as currency. So whatever someone needed, or they thought, oh yeah, wow, I want that, that's really good. So when Belgium, when they went over there and they actually started a farm, if you will, to get the chocolate, and they would bring it over there, and like Spain and all the different areas, they would do that. But in Belgium, why is Belgium the best chocolate? Well, when they went over there and got it around 1500, remember we did 100, so 1500, they brought it over there to Europe, and then they began to kind of, refine it. They processed it. This is processed, and then this is to improve it. Remember we did like rehabbing a house. You're improving something. You can do this for improving, but I would do it this way if you're talking about chocolate, because it's in increments, right? So they improved it. Yeah, and so but why there? I don't know, but they do it a special process, and they improve it, and they said it's just a fine powder. And so fine to us can mean the best, but also it means just really tiny. Like if you're talking about a powder, they're really tiny particles. So I would just do, because you have to have that facial expression. It's not just like powder, normal. It's like fine powder. It's a fine powder, yeah. And then they process it and crush it. Then they add like butter, and then they add different flavorings, while they're processing it, and it has become the top paramount best chocolate. And people will travel, and they go there, and they make sure that they go to Belgium to buy chocolate. And they said they had like 200 shops, and people sell chocolate for everything. It's a sauce, and you can put it on all these foods, or it's a little bit thicker, then you can dip it, or they put it on all these fruits and vegetables and nuts and a whole list. And so it's the best chocolate. And so I did say the Swiss and the Belgium people, they are known now for the chocolate capital of the world. Remember, we did federal government, so we can do the capital, because this is like, we use the word capital in a government sense. So it's like the top chocolate in the entire world. So I want you to notice that those concepts, capital or top, the capital of the world, so the top place of the world, because they used it as currency. But they said that in the 1800s is when they really started refining that and making it the best in the entire world. But they still get it from South America, because that's where they grow it, and they grow it the best. They said that they also went to Africa. Now, a sign used to be Africa, because you're like drawing the shape, but I think this is what Africa uses for their sign, so we'll use that. But know that you will see this or this. They went to Africa, and they grow it there as well, and I think it's probably because of the temperature and the climate. And they kind of just invaded that area. Why? Because they are growing chocolate. And so their economy, I put an E on it, economy, because this is money, right? That you're just holding, so I put their economy instead of their money. I really want a specific word for economy. Their economy is set up on chocolates. So they grow it, they process it, refine it, and then they make it into different things, and they sell it. And they said for it to be called Belgium chocolate, it has to be made there. So you can't just like buy it in America and it's made in America and call it that. It has to be made in Belgium, and then you can bring it to America and sell it. But it has to look on that label and say it's made in. But they are the top people who make the chocolate, and they make different percentages of chocolate ratio, which is, you can compare, or you can do ratio, which is a fraction. I've done that before in a math class. Ratio, because it's a fraction, or you can do a ratio as a comparison, which is what they are doing even in the math classes, because it's a comparison, but they still put the ratio on top of each other. History lesson, but that's why they do it. So it has different percentages of the chocolate in comparison with the sugar. So some people say, oh, the bitter chocolate's really good for you, but I just don't like it. I'm sorry. So I'm just going to say that my milk chocolate, the one with sugar on it, is good. But I do like the better chocolates, like Lindt chocolate. If you want to just have like a ball, they are a Swiss chocolatier business, or chocolate selling, in Belgium chocolate too. So anyway, I just want to make sure that I'm not missing anything. So I think I got all that down. But I just love the history of chocolate, because it's been here forever, and they have been using it ever since, right? That's a sign for ever since. I mean, go way back. They just found it in the 1500s, but they were using it way before that. Way before. Here's my timeline, the 1500s, and then I got my timeline, and I go backwards. So 1500s they found it, but they were using it way before that, right? So get that whole concept in there. Way before that. Here's my demarcation, is the 1500s. So before that. and then now. And it's different. I know it's different because when they found it, they were using it as a drink and it was a little bit bitter. And they called it different names. And who knows which tribes or which countries, how they used it. That's why they would sell the beans in exchange, because they would use it differently. They didn't just sell the powder. So that's always an interesting thing for me because, I mean, ever since they found chocolate, people have been loving it and using it. So this is more of a, I guess I'm telling you, but a really good discussion that you can talk about chocolate to your friends, because you can talk about like the health benefits and the percentage of chocolate or cacao, right, to sugar or water or whatever they add to that, or to milk, butter. They say milk chocolate, but I know that they add the butter to it and the sugar. So when you add those two things, it becomes more of a chocolate that we're accustomed to. So it's just kind of a fun discussion. Have fun with it, and remember, if you like my videos, to put the like button, and then if you have a comment or a question, or you'd like to suggest a subject, then put that in the comment. So look back at my other videos that have a smaller number on it, and then you can you can revisit again the different basic signs that go with the hand shapes. All right, see you later. Bye.